I'm so bored.
I know what we should do. Play Rummikub.
As you can see, my roommates and I love to play Rummikub. I've been playing this game for years with my family, and in fact, my mom and I just played last night using the mobile Rummikub app. In this video, I will cover the rules, history, and strategy of the game. As you watch this video, you will learn how to master the game so that you too can play with your roommates. The game started when playing cards was outlawed by the communist regime, since it uses tiles instead of cards to play. It became popular since it brought people together, since it has no ties to any language or religion. The game consists of 2 to 4 players who will take turns placing numbered tiles on the board in either runs or groups. The goal of the game is to be the first one to place all of your tiles down. There are a total of 106 tiles, and 104 of these tiles consist of the numbers 1 through 13. There is black, red, blue, and orange. In other editions, the colors will vary. There are 2 of each colored number. So for example, here's an orange 5, and then there's another orange 5 shown here. So all of these tiles back here that are face down are just duplicates of the tiles up here. There are also 2 wild cards or jokers that are shown there. They can be any color or any number, just depending on where you place them on the board. We'll do more on those wild cards later. So to start the game, you will place all your tiles face down and shuffle them up. Each player will take 14 tiles and place them onto their stand. I like to organize my stand by color and number. On the first turn, the player can only place down a group or a run if the sum of the tiles is greater than 30 or more. So, for example, I could place this 10, 11, and 12 since they are the same color and consecutive number order. I also have a group, this 4, 4, 4, since they are the same number, different colors. However, I could not place the 4s since they do not add to 30 or more. So on my first turn, I would play the 10, 11, and 12. Once other people have played, you can add on to other people's runs or groups, only if you have played your starting 30 value. So for example, here is a 5, 6, and 7 that another player could have played. And here is 2, 2, 2, 2. So there's 4 2s, and then there's a run. On my next turn, I could place this 3, 4 that I have by adding on. I could also place the 8 onto the other side of the run since they are consecutive and the same color. Another thing that I could have done is take this 2 and use my 3, 4 with that 2 as well. So the whole goal of the game is to manipulate your tiles and your opponent's tiles in order to place all of your tiles down. Now the wild cards, I could fill them in at any spot. If I only had 2 2s, I could make it a 2. I could make it a 5. The wild cards are very flexible and you can have them be whatever you need. The game will have ended once a player has placed all of their tiles from their hand onto the board. The players who still have tiles left over will count each tile's value as a point against them, meaning that the greater number tiles will be a greater number of points against you. It is recommended that there is a 2-minute time limit per person during the round, which seems like a long time. However, once there are lots of tiles placed on the board, the time will go by a lot faster since there is more thinking and more manipulating of the tiles. All right, that about wraps up the basics of how to play Rummikub. I hope that you have learned how to play the game, and if you would like to play, I strongly recommend it. It is my favorite game to play. Thank you so much.